We've casted HonMonO many times over the years. He's been featured quite a lot on the channel, and one of the big things about HonMonO is in the TvP matchup, he never macros. We never see Hon macro against Protoss. We see HonMonO against Protoss instead. He's an animal. He's an animal, Bobby. Let's go. Speaking of, here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of side Delta, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Hyper 1. Living in the land of Japan. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Gen G Esports. It is Trap. Oh, I see Dash in the chat. Gah, papi, gah. Este Dash. Good to see you, Bobby. Good to see you. It's great to see that you've been a little more active as of late. You've been competing more. You recently joined Blacklist International. Congrats, Dash. Do appreciate it. I'm sure Dash is also quite familiar with HonMonO as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they faced off on the ladder in the past. But yeah, HonMonO, he has a very unique, I say unique, he has a very aggressive approach here to TvP. We see HonMonO more often than not go for 1-base all-ins, proxies, 2-base all-ins, pull the boys, Pappy. He's just hyper aggressive here against the Protoss. In this TvP matchup against Protoss players. We do see a little more macro out of HonMonO in TvT. He's a little more standard in the TvT matchup, and against Zerg players, HonMonO does embrace mech from time to time. He also does enjoy bio play, kind of like 8-raxing, basically 8-raxing, 3-base saturation, heavy bio aggression into longer macro play. But for now, we're focusing on the TvP. No cap. Aye. As we are going to be stepping forward, focusing down the probe, we do fully wall off and hide our initial build. It is going to be a standard economic opener, a Rax expand out of HonMonO, as we've only taken one gas geyser, so we have the CC on the high ground, but it's thrown down further back, and we did even throw down the cheese spray, so HonMonO really wants to sell the story that he is going for something more aggressive. Trap, looking at his vision, is in the dark, has no idea what's coming up next. I mean, saw the spray, didn't see anything in the main, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's thinking more along the lines of a factory-based follow-up and double gas. We can see it's going to be a Rax expand into, interesting, a 2-1-1 variation here. We have the second Rax, we have the factory on the way. Now, I would not be surprised if we throw down a third Rax from here and we delay the starport. If not even just skip the starport entirely. Again, it's very common here for HonMonO to turn this into a 2-base all-in, which is a hyperfixation on stim, on our initial upgrades, building up our bio army, maybe even going for earlier tank production, as Zealot has arrived, and we do find a way in. Ooh, the wall is not a wall. The Adept does bust into the main. We get one Marine so far. We're going to get a second Marine as well, and even the third. Additional Marines have arrived. The Adept is able to get a full scout. We have confirmation of the natural base, as well as the production setup. Ooh, starport is... It is a 2-1-1. Let's go. I was not quite convinced, but never mind. 2-1-1, show us the stim, papi. Reactors on the way, I imagine, for a bit of an add-on swap for medevac production. It's all coming together almost like a TVZ. But of course, Trap has seen most... No, he gets in! Oh my god, Trap. Trap, he gets in once again, just confirming the setup, confirming the add-on. I believe we haven't quite seen the starport as of yet, but once again, the depot wall is not raised. Expansion is going to be delayed. Back at home, it is going to be a Twilight Council opener into Blink. How many gateways? 3 gates. It's going to be 3-gate Blink. Very safe opener out of Trap. He already had a shield battery set up just in case. Again, it goes to show Trap is fully aware of the kind of player that HonMonO is, playing this out very safely, and is prepared. And did I say 3-gate Blink? It's going to be 4-gate Blink. There's 3 gates on the way, 1 gateway already done. 4-gate Blink here out of Trap. Hyper aggression. I do like this considering the build of choice of HonMonO. Basically, because we fixated and prioritized stim, because we prioritized bio production, tanks are delayed. Tank production is delayed here for HonMonO. And without a solid tank count, without scouting information, bearing in mind, HonMonO has seen nothing. He's seen nothing across the map. He has no idea how defensive or aggressive Trap is being. And going for 4-gate Blink is a good way to take advantage of that and to abuse that. Third base is on the way. Stalkers are moving out, applying pressure, picking off Marines. Additional Stalkers on the way. And HonMonO, he is going to have a bit of a harder time defending against this. Now, thankfully, there's no Robo. No, there is. Never mind. I was like, where's the prism? There is no prism, so there's no way to reinforce across the map, but Stalkers are in position. Meanwhile, at the same time, HonMonO going for a double job just outside, trying to catch out the Stalkers. We'll see if he can. Meanwhile, we go from Blink straight into Charge. Interesting, so even though it was 4-gate Blink, it looks like defensive 4-gate Blink, as we never made the Warp Prism, we never committed across the map. We have definitely a marauding force out on the map to gain map control, map vision, but that's really all we've gotten, as Trap is taking a much more safe and defensive approach. He's taking his third, getting it up and running, teching up, skipping warp ins. I say that, I mean, we do have 4 Stalkers at least in the main. And Trap is going to be able to hold on. Meanwhile, winding things back, Observer gets sniped, and we are expanding. HonMonO, is that you? I wasn't expecting to see Hon Macro tonight, Papi. Oh my god. Okay, we are expanding. We are taking a third. HonMonO is not going for an all-in, but oh my god, once again, the wall is not a wall. We get into the main, and Trap sees the third. He's aware. He's aware of the macro that's coming out from HonMonO, the tank count as well. So Trap back at home is going to be able to cut some corners, be a little bit greedier here, focus on saturating his base, fixated on his tech. Scan does reveal the third. And behind this, we have yet to really invest too hard into any further tech. We are on 4 gases, but we're working towards gateways and charge lots. Charge lots of Blink Stalkers. We're not going for any Colossus or any additional Immortal production. Not for the time being. There we go. Forges on the way. Scan does confirm the lack of tech in the main. Trap is getting in position to knock down anything that comes out. HonMonO going for a second factory, looking to expand and take the third base. I appreciate this. I appreciate that we see a side of HonMonO that we rarely get to see, showing that he's willing to work on some other aspects of his play. Stalkers, they do manage to pick off a couple of Marines. Marines are going down. The Observer, oh my god. The Observer does slip away. Barely. Stalkers rotate around, they hit the third, forcing out a stim. The other thing I should have pointed out as well is that even though it was a 2-on-1 opener, even though we had a stim timing and a double drop, HonMonO never pushed out with it. He set up outside his natural, yes, but it never quite went across the map. He was never able to really accomplish much with his initial timing. He was focusing on just building up back at home instead. So yeah, just a really interesting approach here from HonMonO to avoid the aggression and to, yeah, just calm things down a little bit here. Yo, reformed? Like, is this a new side of HonMonO? Maybe. We'll see. Prism towards the main. Likewise, across the map, Storm is more than halfway done. So it's going to be a gateway-based army with Storm to support. Storm is on the way. The tank count is getting quite hefty here for HonMonO. We're getting up to 6 tanks already. That's a lot of tanks. There's going to be a lot of tanks here. We've got turrets, sensor towers. Trap is moving out and is going to be hitting with Storm. We'll have 4 High Templar, each with 1 Storm. 4th base on the way behind this. And of course, +1, building up. And we're heading out towards that third. And towards the main. Do we have much in the main base? We have turrets, that is true, but very few units or no units at all. Trap coming in from a different angle, heading from the south. Does hit the mineral line. The tank's out of range. Uh-oh. I mean, that's a high tank count, but they do nothing here. Storm in the mineral line. Storm of the Bio Army. Oh my god, another Storm as well. And the tanks, again, they do nothing. Prism not quite diving into the main yet. HonMonO repositioning. Did bleed out 8 SCVs. And as HonMonO repositions, he's spreading himself thin. 4th CC. 4th CC? HonMonO. We've seen HonMonO take a 3rd in TVP before, but a 4th? Double scanning. Does get eyes on the 4th base of Trap. Prism still not pulling the trigger here. Not quite committing. HonMonO does pull back. Ooh, bleeds out a medevac. Trap does shut it down. Unironically, is this the first time we've seen HonMonO make a 4th CC in like all like 4 years of casting HonMonO? Is this the first time we've seen him make a 4th CC against Protoss? Specifically against Protoss. Like, we've seen HonMonO get up to like 8 bases against Zerg. Like, that's happened, but against Protoss, man, he's crazy. It's when you find out this is like Percival playing on the account instead or something. It's like it's Genio confirmed. Do you see Trap rotating around? Prism now headed towards the main. Meanwhile, HonMonO is still hyperfixated on purely bio tank. There's no additional Viking production, not yet at least. No Ghost, no Marauders, just pure bio tank or Marine tank. The reason why I bring up Vikings is because now we're incorporating a little bit more complexity to the army of Trap. We have 2, soon to be 3 Colossus. Immortals as well. HonMonO taking a 4th. And the 4th is spotted by Trap. He is aware. We can see him rolling around towards the right-hand side. Has to be careful about the siege line. Yeah, big tank volleys going off. And there's no pushing in, not from this angle. And here we go. We go for the unsiege. HonMonO is maxed out purely with Marines and tanks. That's a medevacs. True, true. Couple of medevacs. Getting in position. Does siege up. Zoning back the army. We do leapfrog forward. At the same time, Zealot counterattack here towards the south. Trap in an awkward position. Has to knock down the rocks. The rocks are being knocked down, and HonMonO, he's going to beat him across the map. Yeah, Trap out of position. But here come the storms. Ooh, oh my god, massive storms. Oh my no. Massive storms on the army. The bio army melts. Ay, ay, ay. The tanks have siege, but they're on their own. That was how many? 58 Marines. Oh my god, 58 Marines go down in the blink of an eye. We barely have any bio left. We do have a lot of tanks, but they're on their own. The tanks, they have no support. We catch reinforcements. Meanwhile, the bio army pushing in towards the natural. Zealots are amassing. If you're a Terran player, look away, Papi. Look away. It's it's not safe for Terran. Trap coming in with the drop. Yeah, forcing friendly fire. 2 tanks go down. The Prism falls. Storm on the tanks. It's not going to be pretty here pushing into this tank line, but we do clean this up. Again, nobody to support. The tanks go down. And HonMonO, his army, it just plummets. There's nothing left. There's 2 Marines. There's 2 Marines. Medevacs were boosting away. At the same time, the 3rd base was shut down by the Zealot counterattack. And we're even hunting down Medevacs. Again, it's one of those moments where the soup did lie. Even though the supply was, even though HonMonO was maxed out, it was such a fragile army. Oh, the storms once again. And with that, a Trap is going to clean up what little is left of HonMonO. The tanks and the bio, making 13 Marines at a time. We're out of storms, but we still have Colossus. We still have the Colossus just raining down here at the 3rd. 12 SCVs going down. GG gets called, and Trap will take game number 1. Whew. GG. The weather report, nothing but storm, Papi. Nothing but storm. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played. Trap handling himself quite nicely there. Again, Trap, he recognized that, of course, his opponent, I say recognize, if you remember, Trap, he was able to scout the 3rd CC as it was being built. He also scouted the 4th CC as it was being built as well. So Trap, recognizing that HonMonO was taking a more macro approach, was able to likewise settle on back, get his 4th, get his 5th base, tech up, work towards Storm, work towards Colossus. Didn't really overextend either. What I appreciate is that because HonMonO was just macroing back at home, even though we had the potential to even harass the main with the Warp Prism or be active with the main army, we never really did overextend. Like, we held back with the Warp Prism and the Zealot drop until the army moved out. Likewise, we did see Trap rotate and harass the 3rd base for a moment, and He got 8 SCVs. That's all he got. That's the moment where he backed off when he saw the 4th. So again, just really patient play out of Trap. And even when HonMonO maxed out and moved out, even then Trap, he was, you know, cool, calm, collected, knocking down the rocks, racing back over. He had High Templar ready back at home. Yeah, really, really nice play there out of Trap. As we are going to be settling into game number 2. Let's go. Game number 2 going to be taking place on Golden Aura. HonMonO? Oh, HonMonO, papi. True. Let's go. As we are selling in and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Hyper 1, living in the land of Japan. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Gen G Esports. It is Trap. Here we go. Now, as much as I love that we saw a very different kind of HonMonO in the previous game, you know, a much more macro, I say macro, like he just maxed out on bio tank, on marine tank, and sent it across the map, papi, but a little bit more passive, a little bit more defensive. I imagine we're going to ape it up here in game 2. I think it's one of those things where HonMonO, he tried something a little bit different. Yeah, let's go. He tried something a little bit different in game 1. He's like, you know what does it feel like to, like, you know, make more than 45 SCVs in the TVP? Oh my god. Let's go. This is the HonMonO we know and love. You know, last game was unnatural, Bobby. You know, he was doing whatever he could to just work against his instincts, and now the instincts, they take over. The ape is here. It's coming. Let's go. So it's gonna be a 1-base all-in. I wouldn't be surprised if we throw down the 4th racks. Yep, it's going to be a 1-base, 4 racks all in. We should be massing up Marines, and we should be pulling the boys. We're going to be pulling the boys with this. It's all or nothing here for HonMonO. This is what we know him for. This is what we love him for. You know, Papi, don't try to, like, you know, be someone that you're not. You know, who are you trying to throwing down a 3rd CC, a 4th CC? No. Ape it up. That's what we're here for. Let's go. Now, across the map, Trap is in the dark. What I do appreciate out of what HonMonO is doing here is that it looks just like Game 1. Remember, Game 1, HonMonO went for a Rax Expand. He went for a CC hidden in the main. So I like that the build looks the same so far. It does look very similar to what we just saw. Probe is being hunted down. Marines do fan out. We're massing up more Marines in the main. And we will soon pull the trigger. Meanwhile, very safe play here at a Trap. Does already throw down a safety shield battery at the natural. Again, HonMonO has a reputation. The Koreans, they are fully aware of who HonMonO is and the kind of player he is as well. So Trap, he is playing this out very safely. And here we go, HonMonO. Let's go, is pulling the boys. HonMonO and pull the boys. I mean, name a better duo here. Here we go. The boys are being pulled. Marines are being sent across the map. It's all or nothing here for HonMonO. One way or another, the game is about to end. Now, what do we have to defend? We have 1 Adept, 1 Stalker, and an Overcharge. That's what's important here. We have an Overcharge available for Trap. So far, Trap has not spotted the all-in. We're going to be late to pull the boys. Trap, this is not going to be an easy hold for him. But the Marines, they do push on forward. We're going for the shield battery. Marines are being targeted down. Shield battery does fall, but very nice target firing at a Trap. Does focus down how many? 3 Marines already. The main army is being zoned away. Now we're going straight for the kill, straight for the main. There is a Stalker backup shield battery on the way. Can we buy some time? Boys are being pulled. Good kiting here out of HonMonO, but he's running out of Marines. He's running out of DPS. Ooh, as we bleed off a lot of Marines here. Meanwhile, across the map, we got to surround on the Stalker, surround on the Adept. We need those SCVs. We need a buffer. We need them, Bobby. The boys have arrived. Now we're up to 2 Stalkers. Immortals on the way. Shield battery is going to finish. Yeah, the shield battery does complete. HonMonO, have we taken too much time? Have we taken too long here? We get into the mineral line. Boys are being pulled. Overcharge is activated. Now we're up to 3 Stalkers and an Immortal as well. I keep calling it a Marauder. And an Immortal. Shields are triggered. Marines are being targeted down once again. And we get within range of the shield battery. Oh my god. GG gets called. The Immortal survives. It is Immortal. And Trap will shut down the 1-base all-in. GG. GG, well played. Trap will take the series 2-0, but I appreciate that HonMonO did mix it up. I appreciate that it wasn't just purely all-ins out of HonMonO. I mean, we saw the all-in at the end in game number 2, which I did appreciate. But hey, in game 1, we saw a very different side of HonMonO in TvP, going up to 4 bases, maxing out on Bio Tank. It ended in a bloodbath. It was not pretty to look at, but it was also beautiful in another way. It was... We got to see the power of Storm, Pappy. You got to see the power of Storm. And congratulations to Trap. He does advance on into the next round. My condolences to HonMonO. And Trap advances on into the next round to face off against another opponent, another Protoss, a Korean Protoss in Classic. Catching up in the chat.